Alright guys, so yeah, this is the second part of the last video. In case you didn't see it, it's just more 1v1s. And yeah, so Psychic versus Psychic, I mean, it's pretty boring to be honest, because it's just so much seal and voodoos and all that. And anyways, what I learned from the last fights in the previous video was that being completely offensive was not going to work. Even when I had the Belief Genie, I had to play it really safe because Belief has a 1-minute cooldown, and it's really risky. I'm sorry, I've been a little sick, so yeah. But anyways, so I decided to play it safe, and I was spending a little bit more in white voodoo here. I mean, obviously I just went to black, but I was trying to gamble him into black, or an attack combo, or to waste genie. As you can see, he did go for Tide Spirit there, which is awesome, and I still have my genie and all that other stuff ready. The only thing is, he was not in black voodoo, so it doesn't do me any good, really. Black on black is the only thing that's really going to get a kill. Unless, you know, somebody sparks or something, and then you just have to pop your Apoth or whatever. But here he did switch to black, so I went for the Belief, and I got an attempted stun, but it failed because it looks like he fortified or something. So I guess he was anticipating it. But anyways, my official conclusion is that endgame, Psychic versus Psychic, if both players are skilled enough and have decent genies, it's going to be a draw until somebody decides to commit to a bad strategy and go in black voodoo for too long. This fight, you'll see how it ends. It's the lamest ending to a 1v1 ever. But anyways, yeah, so there's not much to say really, since if you saw the last video, I said quite a bit there. But yeah, the Belief Genie does have its applications in 1v1s especially. This is my old Belief Genie. I just got a new one. I just upgraded a ton of stuff actually. I can't all remember, but I got like a new genie, so now my Belief Genie got better as well. And then I got, I leveled up to 104 by soloing Phoenix Valleys. The new 100+ Phoenix Valley is a bit broken and stupid in the mob design. But anyways, I'm actually going to put a video up about how to do that if you're looking into leveling. There's a pretty good way to do that through Phoenix Valley, so that's coming up, but that's after the genie video, which I promised last video. So I'm going to talk about my genies mostly, but also I know there's a few other genie builds out there that people like, so I'm going to try and get you some information on that. So genie vid, PV vid, and I tried recording TW again, and it was an epic fail. Sorry, my computer is just not built for TW recording, so I can't do that. I'm trying, but it's no-go. But I guess, what else can I say really? Okay, so about the genies, I can talk a little bit about it. When it's Psychic versus Psychic, obviously you have to have the Fortify, and you obviously have to have the Will Surge. The other skills you should look at having are Belief or AD. Choose one. You can't have them both. Actually, you can have them both, but if you have them both, you can't have Holy Path. And if you're really going to build a genie with like that much gear just to fight a Psychic, you can afford to not have Holy Path, but otherwise you need the Holy Path, so you can't have both. But anyways, you know, when it comes to Psychic genie builds, my advice is to do Vite Magic combination with mega high magic and as much Vite as you can pump into it. The Dexterity genie builds, that they try to capitalize on things like a really long Fortify. I know is a big deal, like if you're immune to stun for a full 5 seconds as opposed to like 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Then, I mean, obviously that makes a difference, but at the same time, if you can't recharge fast enough and they get right back on top of you when you're getting really ganked, it's just not going to do you that much good in the end to have all that dexterity. As a Psychic, see, like, the other thing is the Badge of Courage. I don't remember if there's strength or dex builds, but if you're using Badge of Courage on a Psychic, it's a bit lame because if I have a BM on me, for example, and they roar of the pride and I badge it, they can just switch to their axes, which they probably already have out in Drake Bash or Smack. And then, you know, even if I kite for a few seconds before they get back on me, it's not going to do any good. Because if I was a wizard, I could distance shrink away, and obviously that actually is useful. But as a psychic, you'd have to badge into Psychic Will, and then you could still get restunned in a number of different ways, so it's really just not that practical to use the Badge of Courage, and that's why I use the Magic Bite, as opposed to Dex or Strength. And as a Psychic, I don't use Occult Ice because you can't cast Occult Ice when you're stunned, or sealed, I think. I can't exactly remember. But the thinking is that, like, I would use Occult Ice to defend myself a lot of the times, because when I first started PKing, it was all assassins. And the problem with assassins is you don't get to see them coming. They always open with a CC skill. And because of that, like, having Occult Ice is useless, and it's a waste of you know, affinity. Actually, it's not a waste of affinity if you have a certain type of genie, but I mean, it wastes having to have all that strength in order to make it successful. So yeah, I personally, on a Psychic, see no reason to use Badge of Courage or Occult Ice, which means there's no need for a Dex Genie or a Strength Genie. I mean, the Dex is debatable. I've seen people very effectively do Dex, but if you're gonna do a Dex Genie, you want to do Dex and Vite and Magic, because you have to have some recharge. If you have like a 0 Magic Genie, you're basically like burst damaging, you know? Like, you have to have everything all at once. So yeah, it doesn't work. The Psychic, I think, is best suited with Magic Vite, and that's from experience. And when you go endgame genies, like 81 plus genies, you can get enough Vite and Magic with the best genie gear to do combinations. For example, my current genie, not the one I have now, but the one I got, it can do Expel and Fortify simultaneously, and that's a pretty big deal. It cost me a total of about 185 Vite or something to do that, and so that combination of Expel plus Fortify means I can protect myself and then also get away from people and kite while I do that. And at the same time, having that much Magic and Vite means I can fortify an incoming stun, and then I can still have my Holy Path or anything else ready. Because, like, when BMs come in, I'm getting better and better at fortifying incoming BM stuns. And even some sins are predictable nowadays, but, like, it's what happens when their stun fails. Like, a BM's like, oh crap, my roar failed. And then the good ones, they just start pounding on you with straight up DD and maybe try to use Drake Bash. You know, stupid ones kind of go, oh shoot, and then they die. But, like, yeah, using Fortify and still having a ton of extra energy left over means I can Fortify, and then, oh, here's the ending of the vid, by the way. Epic douche move by the Sin there. And yeah, that's how that 1v1 ended. Very lame, I know, I'm sorry. Anyways, so yeah, Magic Vite, if you're a Psychic, that's the way to go. If you're another class, we'll have to talk about it. But anyways, that was the last 1v1 with Tight End, who is now, he's upgraded his gear a lot more. If you saw the last video, it's been mega upgraded since then. Not mega, but pretty substantially upgraded. So anyways, yeah, I will do a genie video. I don't know if I'll do it today, but I'll do it at some point, and then I've got the solo PV coming up, and I will see you guys on that one.